Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Courtney Kemp here. Just starting to get together for this live. And yeah, starting to get ready. So as people come in, it was a big week on Ghost. I do love that you guys still call it Power. That's really lovely. Hello, Soars. Yeah, lots of, hi Romeo. Lots of things to get to this week. Lots of stuff to talk about. Let's see. Someone just asked me, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to do that. Well, this week, there were so many different predictions and so many different things that came up for people. And I definitely want to talk about some of the things, and then I kind of want to disabuse some notions. One thing that I don't necessarily want to do is tell you guys the answers to some of the things that you came up with, only because the season finale is next week, and so, you know, there we are. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is definitely Tariq's flashback at the beginning. Oh, wait, it's only 5:01. Let me wait a little bit. Definitely. But there are some really interesting kind of questions that you guys came up with. I got a lot of questions this week. Some of them were like a lot like the same. So I'm going to do a couple just as people are coming in that are not the same. Someone asked me, Forever 612 asked, is the finale going to be longer than an hour? Slightly. It's not going to be like a 2-hour finale, but it's a little long just because, you know, I like to go a little bigger at the beginning of the season, at the end, and Stars is really kind and generous and allows us to go a little bit over. How long does it take to write a season of Power? Well, it's kind of like it takes to do the writing, because the writing process keeps going a little bit while you're shooting. The whole process in general to do 10 episodes of Power, of Raising Kanan, of all the shows is about a year. Because you do have to, I mean, in the case of the newer shows, you're building sets and all those things, and that takes time. But in terms of Ghost, it's definitely, like, we start the room with 20 weeks. We usually extend to about 25 or 30 weeks of writing time. But part of that writing time is also editing. It's also scripts, going out and going through the production process. So it's a lot of back and forth. Definitely. And it's, I'd say, you know, you're talking at first. So the structure of the room is 5 weeks. We just sort of blue sky, as we call it. We talk about scenes we want to see, stuff we owe you guys. That's a big part of it. Like, what do we owe the audience? That's a huge part of doing a series that's going forward. So for those of you who are like conceptualizing your own series, one thing that I'll definitely tell you is that you need to think about what you owe the audience. That's like super, super important. And that's where some of these questions come from too. And then the next thing is, the next phase is actually breaking those ideas out into character arcs. So we do a lot of that and looking at what the character arcs are going to be. And that's really important as well. Those of you who are asking about my jacket, it's from First Fam Boutique. Support Black-owned businesses, and yes, I decided I would rep today. Let's get into some of these questions. Oh, okay. One question is this idea that Ghost and Lorenzo crossed paths in jail. So Lorenzo is actually at Ossining State Prison. He is in Sing Sing. He is not in federal holding. Federal holding, which was the MCC, that is where Ghost was. Ghost was arrested, if you remember, for a federal crime, which was killing an FBI agent. That was Greg Knox. He was not held in the same facility. So for those of you who keep pitching that Ghost walked by Lorenzo in episode 404, that's not true. None of that is true. They would not have been in the same place. We did shoot in a state prison at one point. We have shot in federal prisons. We've shot in all different kinds of places. But in terms of just the storytelling, that is not it. And so just let that one go entirely. There is no Lorenzo Ghost crossover. Okay, let's see. Another quick question, really easy one. What does Tariq need $2 million for? He wants it for his family. More of that will be explained in later episodes. Oh, hi, Berto. Okay, so, all right. Okay, yes. One of the big things that I definitely want to talk about. Okay. Oh, do a little one. Little one. Does Diana taking the drugs help Tariq in a way because he has so much heat on him? No. Diana stealing from Tariq does not help him in any way. That's not good. But it actually shows a level of maturity on Diana's part a little bit, because she's not so far gone on Tariq that she will do anything. Anything to like be with him or anything like that. She actually compromises her own relationship with him in order to do it. Hi, Gabrielle Ryan. I see some of the Force cast is in here, which is really nice. Tamika Ray asks, does Davis's brother's storyline play out, connection to the drug game? More of that will be in season 3. Hopefully, we're looking toward that. Prince Rock 803, why is Trace a stuck-up rich white boy, and will Braden kill him? Well, why is Trace Trace? I mean, Trace is Trace, like that. He is who he is. But someone else asked a good question. Why did he not snitch until now? And I think this is really important. So Kane threatens him, and so does Braden. Braden is like, do not do that. And then Tariq threatens him. If you remember, there's a number of times where Trace runs his mouth, and those 3 people are like, you're not going to do anything. But in the context of his parents' townhouse with his lawyer, in a situation where he feels comfortable, and again, we are talking about privilege, he doesn't understand what's on deck. He doesn't understand what he's doing when he's saying he's going to snitch on Kane Tejada. He doesn't get it. It's Braden who actually gets it in that moment. He understands what Trace is doing, and that he is actually signing his own death warrant by offering to snitch. By the way, Jenny also knows that Trace is signing his own death warrant. So when she comes back and she says to Braden, your brother won't have to testify if you turn on Kane, that's a really important question. Okay, so, all right. Are Lorenzo and Ghost related in some way? No. I'm gonna wait a full beat. I didn't actually freeze. No, Lorenzo and Ghost are not related. Okay, next. Why is Effie hated on so much when all she done is, this is Prince Rock 803 again. All she did is protect Tariq, unlike Diana and Lauren. So let's talk about Effie for a second. I think there's a lot of stuff that we should talk about in terms of Effie. So the intention with the Effie storyline, and I do think it's very interesting about how all of you guys, or a lot of you, not all of you, a lot of you do understand that Effie is making a double move and that she's conflicted. And I had a great question in here, and here we go. I can tell you who it was. Trina Glenn 67. What was Effie's motivation to go to Kane about Lauren? Jealousy, or was she looking at a bigger picture? I think this is really, really great, because this is actually true. Effie is doing both. But in terms of Effie's character development, which a lot of you guys were asking for, a lot of you guys were looking for backstory for Effie and character development for Effie and more time for Effie, and something that Alex Lepre does really well. Effie's conflicted. Effie does not want to be that girl. She doesn't want to play herself at all. She wants to be the person who can move and stick and move and do whatever she wants. What's best for the whole team is that Lauren goes down. Lauren is a snitch from Effie's point of view. I don't know that's even really like a question. Lauren wore a wire. She got Kane and Braden on the wire. Tariq knows about it, and he's not going to do anything. And in fact, what he's saying is, you don't understand her. You don't get her. And Effie's like, what's there to get? She wore a wire on you, and she was your girlfriend. So Effie's point of view, I think, is pretty clean. It's pretty clear. You know what I mean? But why is Effie motivated to do that? There are some feelings there. And every time Tariq talks about Lauren, and you see that in that performance that Michael Rainey is giving, where he's showing he has real feelings for that girl. He really, really wants her to survive. Now, what Effie can't see, she can't see that those feelings are also about having to lose Tasha, having to lose Yasmin, having to lose all these people in his life because of what's happened to him. So she's not seeing all of that, but she is feeling that jealousy. So it's kind of a dual motivation. It's the right thing to do, but perhaps the wrong reason. I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. So in other words, Effie is in a complicated frame trying to do what's best. She also does not believe that Lauren has Tariq's best interests in mind. And we have a little scene about that as well, where she says, I think that girl's a bad influence on you. Well, Lauren was doing what was best for Lauren. Remember that. Lauren was doing what was best for Lauren. She also was motivated by protecting Tariq because she was lied to, but she wanted to get out of trouble. Let's not forget about that. And Effie is trying to save all of them. She's trying to save Kane, she's trying to save Braden, and she's trying to save herself. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so a lot of people have asked a lot of questions about Effie's relationship to Mecca, and I was not going to answer that before now, but I think this is super important. Effie and Mecca are not related. They are not, she is not his connect, he is not her connect, they don't know each other. There is no crossover between those two characters. Effie is not a narc, she is not a fed, she is in no way related to any kind of, law enforcement. I want to be really clear about that because I know a lot of guys people, not just guys, but a lot of people were asking like, are Effie and Kane, and Effie and Mecca are related. I want to say something in general about that. We cast the best actors for the show, and we try to get the best people to play those parts. If occasionally those people look somewhat alike, that doesn't necessarily mean that we are trying to tell a story with that. I just want to be really clear. So for example, when we cast Daniel Sunjata, that isn't because there is some sort of overlap between the way he looks and the way Omari looks. That's not at all what was happening. Same thing here with Alex. Alex was cast in season 4 to play Effie. One other thing just about Daniel Sunjata and Omari, which is not really about them, but about their characters. If you guys remember, Ghost is from Queens. He's from Queens, just like Tommy. They're from Jamaica, actually. Dante and Monet grew up in Brooklyn. Another time I'm not frozen, just want to point that out. Okay, I did see a comment over the weekend, and I want to be really clear about something. Someone said that Ghost and Tommy look so much younger than Mecca and Monet, and they were getting all the timeline stuff confused. Okay, the shows are running in real time. So when you saw everybody in 2013, they were their correct ages in 2013. These shows are not happening concurrently. They are happening consecutively. So the ages should make sense if you think of it that way. TV show doesn't stop doesn't freeze in time. So if you're trying to track it. Now, I understand that you guys are doing a lot of tracking, and I love that you're that invested. But I do want to caution, they're just TV shows. So at some level, it's fun and I love it and I really appreciate you guys and it's so great that you're all here to talk about this stuff. But I do want to be really clear that not only are the timelines consecutive, but the ages of the actors in real life and the ages of the characters have nothing to do with each other. Okay, so Tommy and Ghost are 35 when we start Power. Okay, they're 35 years old. That has nothing to do with Joseph's real age, Omari's real age, all of that stuff. Please, don't do that. Don't waste your time with all that. It's just literally just the timeline. Now, the timeline that does not work, and I will completely swear to this, this is the thing. We could not age Tariq and Raina in real time. There are a lot of reasons that we couldn't do that. So if you're trying to kind of track Michael Rainey's age, don't do that either. We had to tell the story where he is in his adulthood. So this is why we're kind of keeping Tariq's age and Michael Rainey's age close. They're not the same, but it's close. Okay, great. Jay Carey asked, why didn't Effie change her clothes if she killed Lauren? Effie does not live in New York. Effie actually lives in New Haven. Effie wasn't supposed to be gone that long, so she had to come back and be with Tariq because that's what he's expecting her to do. She can't just go AWOL. That's a really important point, but I like that you guys are asking those questions, but the reality is none of these kids is Ghost. If you are expecting these kids to be able to do these things like professionals, they're not. They're trying to learn it and figure out. The reason that Effie showed up and followed Brayden is because she didn't believe that Brayden was going to go through with killing Lauren. Now, why is that? Because he's a kid. He's a kid just like her. She's doing things that are coming out of, like I said, dual motivations and all those feelings, but she's acting and reacting. She's not planning really coolly and simply the way that you would see other people. And I want to make it really clear, we do have strategists on this show. Tariq is a strategist. Even he doesn't always do things perfectly, but that isn't to say that always Effie and Brayden and all those people are going to make the right decisions or what we would want them to do. A friend of mine is always saying, why do your characters act like that? And the reason is, And I'll tell you guys, if they did everything perfectly, there would be no TV show. Okay, if everyone did everything right, there's no TV show, there's no conflict. I'll give you a big example. Should Diana have run her mouth in episode 8? No, but then you don't get to watch her run her mouth. So it is what it is. Okay, so, okay. Did Effie drop out of school? No, she did not drop out of school. She's still doing her work. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. The Elizabethan era said something that I thought was really smart. You guys do a lot of really smart questions. There are a ton of really smart questions on here. I'm not going to lie. But Lorenzo was upset that Drew chose revenge over business. I doubt he sent those hitters after Monet. This is a smart observation. I'm not going to confirm anything, but I am going to say that I do think that that's just, that's a smart observation. Hold on one second. I don't know what's going on here. My requests to join. Looks like my requests to join aren't working. Why would that happen? I'll try one more time. Okay. All right, you know who you are. I'm trying to get you to join, and it's not letting me have you guys join. Let me see. Let's see if they come up. That's so strange. I've never had that happen before. All right, well, while I'm trying to get this to work, there's a lot of you who asked me if Lauren is really dead. A lot of you asked me if Lauren was really dead. And what I was going to say is there are lots of questions that you guys ask, like, did Monet kill Carrie? Which I did answer, I think, but is Lauren really dead? That, I can't answer that. Why would I answer that? That's going to be the worst for you guys if I answer those questions. I want you to actually, do your thing. If you know who you are, who's supposed to be joining us, can you just send your request again, please? Because it would not work the first time that I did it. I don't know why. Okay. Shantila Shea says, why are you on here lying, Courtney? We know Ghost is alive. I really wish I had my shot glass, but I don't. Okay. Let's see. Someone asked me a really good question, and I will definitely. Hackers are on here. Okay, thank you for the person who said that. Did Daniel Sunjata have a small part in Power? Was he Mecca then? No, he was never on the show. Mecca was never actually in the series before. I know I did get a bunch of questions about that. Mecca's storyline was only embedded in a very small way, and it was never embedded as Mecca. There was no reference to Mecca, and Daniel Sunjata was not playing him at that time. I don't know why my requests to join are not working. It's literally coming up blank when I press it, which is really strange. Okay. I have a cast member on deck to join us right now, and I don't know, I'm having no luck with that. I suppose I could end the live and try to start it over again, maybe? Or maybe it's an internet issue. I may have to do that as a separate live, then maybe afterward. What do you think I should do? Because it's literally won't let me.
Don't end it. Let me see if I can.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna go back to these questions, and you know who you are. Just hold tight. I see your second attempt to request. I'm gonna try to see if I can get that to work. I'll try one more time, and then we will just. I have no idea why that's happening, which is really annoying because this is a really fun special guest for you guys. I'm so annoyed. But for whatever reason, it's there's so many of you sending in viewer requests that I literally can't. I don't know why my IG is acting up, but it's definitely acting up. And I'm getting nothing on requests to join. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep answering questions. Okay. Let's see if there is. Oh, those of you who are saying clicking their name, Toya, I see you helping me. It won't even pull up names. It just gives me blank. It just gives me blank. It won't even like literally, I can't even get anything. It's so strange. The rest of it is working. All right. I am not actually going to keep trying. I'm going to just go through the live and see if I can get that a little bit later. And see if I can do like a second thing because it's just not working. All right. Okay. Next question. I'm seeing if there's any questions that you guys have. Okay. Is Power coming to LA? No. We are not planning to do a Los Angeles version. We were going to, and then the Tommy version ended up with being in Chicago. Okay, yeah. Let's see. All right, no hot questions. Okay, so let's see. Some official vibes. Is Tariq going to find out about Tasha and Sean back in the day? Wow, great question. I will send that forward for season 3. That's not something we were planning for season 2. Okay, so there's a lot of questions about Ghost saying that he had a Spanish brother who was in the military. I have no idea what you're talking about. I literally have no idea what that was, like literally. Also, just to say it, the mecha character is not Spanish. He's not Latino. The Daniel Sunjata is mixed. He's biracial. He's black and white, and so is the character. Thank all of you guys who are telling me how to have somebody join my live and saying click their name. I totally get it. The name's not coming up. It's not, it's like literally doing that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this live and I'm going to try to see if I can get the person to join without. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But yeah, because it would be really great to have this person. Okay. Did you just request me?
Just to test it.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't pull up any. So I'm gonna end the live and then I'll start it over again. Okay, so stay there. I'm gonna end the live and I'm gonna start over again. Okay, bye. Okay, so I am back. I'm gonna try again. My special guest, if you are still out there, can you please do me a favor and try and send me a request again? Hopefully this time it will work. My internet is working, so I don't know what's going on. If you're not a member of the cast, you could really help me out by not sending a request right now because I'm trying to get this cast member on. And so if you could not send a request to be in my live video, if you're not a member of the cast, it would be super great. There we go. Hopefully that worked. Finally! Oh my God! I was literally like, I'm dying here. And I'm like, okay, so are we gonna get him on or are we not gonna get him on? And then all these people are sending me these requests and I'm like, y'all, can you chill? I'm trying to get Councilman Tate on this.
Yo, let me get in here. CK, Queen
Hi.
Kemp. Listen,
How are you?
I'm doing well. You look amazing, first and foremost. Oh, I see you representing. Look at the jacket. Okay. I ain't mad at you. Oh, I see you. Okay. I see you. Represent sorority up in here. Listen, I'm happy to be here. I'm sorry that, you had to, start this live all over again. Because I was thinking
it's all good.
I was like, damn. I was like, am I messing things up? Hold up.
You were not. What's happening is when I'm live, I'm getting like a lot of requests, but what happened this particular time is like it would come up and it was blank, so I don't know. But you're on, you're great, and I'm really excited. And now I'm gonna ask you some questions. And I wanna ask you as a fan too, because there's a lot of speculation out there. So first of all, first thing is to just give you your flowers about how amazing you are. I had lunch with Daniel Sunjata today, and he and I were just like sort of just fanboying out about how amazing your performance is.
But thank you. I love Daniel. Sunjata is a good friend of mine. He and I worked together on Rescue Me years ago, and he's one of my Chicago brothers. I'm so happy that he was able to join our cast of Ghost this season 2. Phenomenal actor and even better person. And I'm mad that I didn't get the invite. Damn it.
I thought you were in New York. That's why I was like, it's at 8:15 because I thought you were in New York.
But you know what? He's one of my favorite people. And I just got to say, just so all of your followers will know that Courtney A. Kemp is literally one of my most, what can I say? She's one of my favorite people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love you dearly. You know that. You are phenomenal. for all that you have done for not only this cast, but the crew, your writing teams, the people that you have always elevated. I got to give you your flowers. And we talk about this all the time, how like Courtney just keeps elevating people and giving opportunities. It's obviously a part of your DNA to pay it forward and to always to, lift people up that are around you. And we tip our hats off to you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're so loved. You're so loved.
I appreciate you. First of all, thank you for saying that. That is part of my work in this lifetime, which is to try to elevate people of color and try to get us in front of and behind the camera. That's definitely part of the work. Part of the work is to help women. Part of the work is to help LGBT folks, anybody who is not in the mainstream of I want to lift. So that's super important to me. 1, 2, you're one of my favorite people on the planet. And I'm going to tell you guys a behind the scenes thing. Lorenz Tate is my dating coach. Okay, so when I'm out here trying to date, Lorenz Tate is my dating coach.
So I just want to say this to all the brothers that are trying to holler at Courtney. That's my sister, right? And I know this is a family show, but listen, I don't fuck around when it comes to Courtney. You understand what I mean? Listen, we have some real conversations up here. You understand what it is? And I take this very seriously. But you listen, you only deserve the best. You only deserve what's good for you. And so, behind we won't give all the details.
We won't give all the details away. What we will say is, if I cut you, it's because Lorenz told me to cut you. Just gonna say. Okay, all right. So.
Oh, good. That's cool.
Let's get into your question.
I'm cool with that.
Let's get into your question. So, tell the audience, how did you start playing Rashad Tate?
Oh, wow. So, we have to take it all the way back to Power, where my friendship with Amari Hardwick, who plays the incredible Ghost. No one could play Ghost as well as this man, Amari Hardwick.
Amari Hardwick.
And we have worked together in the past and different things. And, Amari was always trying to find a way to get me on the show. We just didn't know. He was talking about there might be a brother, there might be certain things. The truth of the matter is, when you and I met and we talked, and 50, we all got together, was trying to figure out how I can be on this show. I was telling 50 I want to be on the show. I shared with you that I wanted to be on the show. And, the character that I was originally casted to play was Terry Silver.
That is what, just so I explain to everybody, those of you who didn't watch Power, so Terry Silver was Ghost's criminal defense attorney, and he was also Tasha's love interest in season 4. Lorenz was supposed to play Terry Silver. Okay, go. Sorry.
So I was like, and it didn't happen. I was working, I was producing a movie, I was doing a bunch of other stuff, and production was gonna stop and wait for Lorenz Tate. Saying this is the Power. This is Courtney Kemp and 50 Cent and Omari Hardwick and everybody in Power. They was not about to wait for me, which I understood. And the role went away. But once I got done with my project, I reached out and I was telling Omari, I was telling 50, and obviously Courtney, I was like, I would love to come back in. I said, listen, Courtney, my agents and managers at the time said, nobody's on the phone with me. This is me calling you, trying to reach out. I would love to be a part of it in whatever capacity you want. I think I owe that to you. I owe that to all of you all. And you said, okay, well, I got something. I got a character that we're working on that is going soon. I'm thinking maybe in the future. You're like, nah, like super soon. And it's a politician. What do you think about playing a politician? I was like, I would love to. And you said, okay, so I have this really cool character, and you broke it down to me. And you also said, I'm thinking his last name is going to be Tate. And I was like, yo, that's just fire. I'm in. That alone sold me. You know what I'm saying? So once I was able to get that role, I just wanted to come in and land. And I didn't know what I was going to do, how involved I was going to be in it, because you guys were still sort of crafting everything. But it was just like, it was meant for me to do this. The Terry Silver was not meant for me. The universe said, that's not for you. And we did everything to try to to play that role. I really wanted to play that role. And we tried to, but the universe said, nah, 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 nah. You have to play this character. And I appreciate you because this is something I haven't done before. I'm loving Rashad. Everything that, you know, that he's able to do. He's unapologetic. He's, as we all know, he's self-serving on so many different levels. He's far from who I am, but there's a little bit of LT in all the characters I play. There's certainly a little LT in the Rashad, you know, especially when he flips that switch. You know, he ain't bullshitting.
When we see a little O-Dog, just a tiny bit of O-Dog, just like sort of pop out, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Listen, O-Dog still lives. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the smooth taste fool y'all. Understand what it is. It still lives there. And so to be able to have the wonderful story and the wonderful actors and the wonderful world to do what we do is so special. And this show has taken the culture and is part of the culture. I mean, Power, the universe is real, and the fact that Rashad is still thriving. I didn't think I was going to get past 4 episodes. You told me, I thought I would come in for 1 episode. You was like, no, I got 4. And then I was doing some other things. You called me up again and said, listen, season 5 of Power. Of course, my team, I'm going to keep it real. At the time, the people are like, why are you doing Power? I was like, oh, y'all don't get it. You know what I'm saying? They didn't get it. And I'm keeping real with it because they didn't. I was like, nothing. For those who didn't get it that was working with me at the time, you know, they weren't the decision makers. At the end of the day, I'm the decision maker of what I do. And so I decided to come rock.
Lorenz, wait, Lorenz, let me tell you something. Let me just say something for the audience too. So I've had that happen multiple times where I've approached actors to be on the show and their reps who aren't part of the culture have told them no, not to do Power, but to do something else that is more mainstream, to be sort of like 5 or 6 on the call sheet on like a mainstream show. Now it happens less now, but it definitely, during the run of Power, I would have to approach people and kind of fight with their reps and be like, you don't understand what this is doing in our culture for us, because people kept saying, oh, no, they should be a cop on like this broadcast show. And it's like, no, this is for us. This is for us, by us, as much as it can be, you know?
Absolutely. And that speaks to, you know, where we connected, because I totally understood that. As I say, I overstood it. I overstand the movement and trying to tell our stories. And for me, I felt like, listen, I built my career telling our stories. And I've done a lot of television and projects that seem to be mainstream or things that, you know, that may have had a bigger light casted upon it. But I felt there was something super special about Power. And I was a fan. I was like, listen, that's cool. We're good. We work together as a team in terms of reps, but I'm not listening to y'all on this one. I'm not going to do that. And I made the decision. Now, they were happy when the checks started coming in. They had no problems with that.
Always. And by the way, when it's like, oh, and it became a series regular gig. Oh, and now you have all these, like, all this heat. Of course, it's always like that. But we as people of color always have to prove and show. It's always about show and prove and all that.
And when I called you and I said, listen, I want to do the show. This is me calling you. I said, I'm about that Black excellence for real, on some real shit. And I was like, yo, to have myself and Amari to rock, I see what you and 50 are doing. That's Black excellence. No matter what the world is saying, it's what we know. And I was like, I'm with that. I'm with it. And yes, Black excellence is mainstream. Yes, Black excellence is global. It is what it is. And we're going to be continuously unapologetic about it. And it's okay, because our stories are global. Our stories are universal. And because we have, you know, stars or leads that look like you and I, doesn't mean it has to just be for a specific group. We're dealing with human stories. We're dealing with family. We're dealing with brotherhood. You're dealing with, you know, nuclear family, dysfunctional families. This thing is universal, right? And then you have characters who come in from all walks of life. And what you were able to do, as I recognize, to show New York in a way that how it truly is. I mean, if we start looking, you know, into this world, it's like, oh, there's a representation of everybody in here. And at the time, people didn't see that. The mainstream didn't see that. But
Well,
as far as,
can
yeah,
I just say real quick that actually, when you say the mainstream didn't see it, I think one thing that people don't understand is how little recognition Omari has gotten. Like, he's gotten so little recognition for what he did in Power. Like, it is crazy to me. Like, I just, if y'all are out there, hit the likes, because this is the reality, is that, if Omari was doing this on a show that was considered mainstream, if we had been in the spotlight from the beginning, like, people would have really, it would have been everywhere. And it's just it's heartbreaking to see, for me, how little people have taken that in, or have taken in what 50's done. Because, the Power shows plus BMF, how many people of color he's put on screen, how many people, and then his other shows that aren't on Stars. Like, it's just, I mean, we've been trying to do this out here for a minute.
You have shown how to do it, right? All of you. Omari deserves all the accolades and the flowers in it, because he's incredibly talented. He's incredibly gifted. He is a star, and he should be deemed as one and seen as one. But it's okay, because we recognize him, and we see him as the top. And so, as with you and 50, with 50 is just, doing an incredible job at all the things that he's doing. And as you point out, creating opportunities in a place where a lot of opportunities don't often happen for people who look like us, and to do it at a high level. Now, keep in mind that when we talk about this, this is qualified. This is all quality. This is high quality, and you guys didn't early on. The shows didn't get the kind of recognition that it is gotten now, and a large part of that has to do with the fans. The people who support the show. That is what this was about. That's who really helps push this all through, are the fans, the diehard fans and we thank you, because without the support of the audiences who felt like they were being represented, entertained, connected, you doing all of the things that you're doing, like your lives and communicating, people. Showrunners and creators don't really do what you're doing. They don't sit up and really try to connect with the audiences. It's because we care.
It's because we care. That is absolutely right. That's why I do this, because it's because I care. All right, I'm going to ask you one last question. Well, actually two, real quick. Okay, so the first one, because it's a behind the scenes thing, who is your favorite person to work with on Ghost? Now, we know about O, because that's your homie, right? But who's your favorite person to do scenes with on Ghost?
No question, Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate, my brother.
I walked right into that one, right?
I love.
And you can't answer any other way, right?
I can't answer it any other way. And I want to say thank you for writing Lamar onto the show and bringing him in. I mean, what better person to play Kamal than my own brother, who was fantastic. And you didn't even blink when we were trying to figure out who was going to play my brother. And, when I said, but Lamar, you were like, done. It makes all the sense in the world. Totally get it. So, and Lamar loves you. He says, thank you so much. And our families, you have no idea what you've done. Our families from Chicago to LA, around the country, have been waiting for Lamar and I to do something. We didn't know it was going to be this. And you made that happen. It is a special thing to the Tate family, and to my other side of the family is the West family. It is such a huge thing what you have done, and an impact for all of our family and our friends who've been asking, when are y'all going to do something? Courtney Kemp made that happen. And
I appreciate that, but I have to say, I appreciate that, but I have to say also that Lamar is a great actor on his own. Like, it's not just about putting him in the show. It's also, because the thing is, when we brought that in for 614, because that's an important thing. If you guys go back and watch Power 614, you needed somebody with that weight. You know what I mean? You needed that weight to be able to be there. You needed so, all right, wait. And then one last question, because I do have to get back to all of these questions. I have so many. But one last question for you, which is, what has been your favorite scene to play this season?
My favorite scene to play? Oh, wow. I got a few of them. Oh my gosh. I like the scene between myself. I'm gonna go one of them with Michael Rainey Jr. There's a couple of them. One when he shows up for the first time, and we're celebrating Kamal, becoming a detective, and he just sort of shows up and says that he's my nephew. That was one of my favorite scenes to play. And also just this one, the past one in the bathroom stall. You know what I'm saying? In the bathroom stall, because Tate is so adamant about 0 games to be played. You know what I mean? And Tariq just keeps going on this roller coaster with him. And it was really nice to be able to do that, and then to go into the to the courtroom and basically sell my brother out. You know what I mean? What can I say?
Hey, listen, Rashad does what's good for Rashad. Rashad does what's good for Rashad. Everybody else will be cool with it. They'll get it. It'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to get back to answering some questions for the folks, because I know that they have a lot of things to say. Yes. But I definitely appreciate you hanging in there with my technical difficulties. I love you. And we will be together quite soon, my friend.
Yes, we will. I love you dearly. Y'all.
I love you too.
All right.
Hi to the wife and kids.
Thank you. I will. I'll let them know. God bless.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Okay. That was fun. Sorry about our technical difficulties here. Okay, so one beautiful. Oh yeah, somebody just said Omari deserved an award for his performance. He definitely deserved not just, but he got Image Awards, which was amazing. But I wanted an Emmy for him, honestly. Like from like the real. Like I really wanted people to be able to see that performance and get it the shine and the light it deserved. Things have changed, you know. Back when we started, even it wasn't the kind of world that it is now. So yeah, just absolutely shout out to that. One beautiful one says, will we get to see the blackface photo? No, we decided as a writer's room that would not be shown. We decided that actually putting the blackface photo in the series was unnecessary, that we actually didn't need to reify Black trauma by actually putting it in the show. So we did not do that. So there we go. Kiki_Jones00, will Zeke find out the truth about Monet killing Carrie? Well, what do you guys think? Do you think he suspects her already? I feel like we saw that, a little bit of that in episode 9, that he suspects her already, and that him suspecting that might be dangerous. I wanted to know what you guys thought, actually, of the fact that she lied to him when he asked her directly. Do you think it was a good idea to lie to him, or was it a bad idea to lie to him? Okay, let's see. Mr_Gomes, Effie is the woman Tariq needs. Would you agree? I think that she is perfectly matched for Tariq, but she's also perfectly matched for Tariq, which means they are very similar, and they're going to do what they think is best for them at any given moment, which might not always work for a relationship. I hope that made sense. Okay, wait, I want to get back to that one. Okay, oh, this is a great question, really great question. Black_Winter asks, how did Tariq get that picture of Sweeney? We wrote the scene, you guys. Okay, so there was this whole scene where Tariq goes to Braden's townhouse, and remember the black maid, Esme, who he talked to. Oh no, we cut that scene too, and oh Lord. So there was a whole character that we had in episode 201, the hunting episode, that we actually were supposed to bring back, and we ended up having to cut the scene. You know, I've told you guys this before. I overwrite a little bit. My scripts are super long, and so scenes often fall out. So we had a scene where he actually got to get into the house. And it doesn't, I guess, we really pulled back on that because we had to figure out which scenes to cut out of this episode. It was very long. This episode was written by Sarah Rose Feinberg, who's amazing, and was directed by Bart Wenrick, who's been working with me since day one. He is a day one. As we like to say in the Power family, he is a red sweatshirt. The people who have been with us from day one, November, I think 18th, 2013, have day one sweatshirts. And sometimes you'll see people wearing them. And so, yeah, anyway, they directed this episode. He directed this episode, Bart did, but we could not actually fit all of the stuff into this episode. As the episodes get toward the end of the season, they're over jam-packed, and you guys are seeing that. You know, it's just, there's so much going on. Okay. I am Jada Grace asks, would we ever see a forced ghost crossover, especially since Mecca mentioned Tommy? I would love for that to happen, but I'm not part of the machinery that will make that happen in the future, but I hope that does happen. Okay. The real Britney, is Effie connected to GTG? No. Okay. let's see. Are there any questions up here that I need to get to? I don't want to make sure that I'm not ignoring you guys who are turning in live. Let's see. Courtroom scene. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so nice. Isn't Lorenz amazing? Like, he really is one of my closest friends. Oh, someone else is asking if Tariq will get a car. I think I addressed this already, but if you are from Manhattan, you know, it is what it is. Like, you grow up in Manhattan, you may or may not drive. I think we talked about that a little bit. Let me just see if there's any. Yes, Zeke suspects her. That's correct. Oh, I love this. Megan the stylist said it was a bad idea for Monet to lie to Zeke because Mecca saw her lie with a straight face. I think you're right, and I also think that there's something really interesting there, which is that he learned that she would lie, and he also backed her up. How did you guys feel about the fact that he backed her up? He could have chosen not to, but Dante decided to do that. Speaking of Dante and his relationship with Monet, another great question from Money Habit 92. Does Mecca care about that ring, or does he want the bag because of the info in the bag? It is both, but that ring is very important. That is an engagement ring, and do you know who that engagement ring is for? I think you guys do know who that's for. Footy Fan 101 asks, who came up with the phrase the goat of global snitching? I don't remember. It was either me or Sarah Rose Feinberg, and I can't. Okay, my best friend is on here. Dramatic. Hi, Kish. Bad idea because he might go George from a Bites and Met on her ass. Okay, I love that that was a literary reference and on her ass. This is why I love this woman. That is my best friend. Okay. Tony 0219. Will Brayden tell on Kane to protect himself and his family as well as Tariq? It may lead back to him. I think it's really interesting. I mean, if you're Brayden, you have a really tough decision to make, right? Your brother's in danger now because of what Kane did. If you think about it, it was Kane's fault protecting them in the first place, right? But he did, and so, you know, here we are. We allowed Trace to walk around and live, and now Trace is about to open his mouth. Do you rat on your brother? Like, do you let your brother hang out there and testify? Do you rat on Kane to Jenny? Like, what are you going to do? Okay, so I think I answered this already for those of you who missed the first live. Did Ghost walk past Lorenzo in episode 404 of the original Power? No, he did not. They were in two different institutions. Okay, more of a guest. Tishi, Mecca is Effie's plug. No, he is not. Okay. Is Lorenzo mad? Kane Tahada asks, is Lorenzo mad at Diana because she lost her virginity to Tariq? He's not thrilled. He's not thrilled. He's not thrilled at all. Not a good idea. Josie Kings asked, who is Tariq's, oh, hey, Frank. Who is Tariq's main love interest? I think Tariq has to love himself most, but if I had to say who does he love most in the world, the person he loves most in the world is Tasha. That never changes. It's obviously not a romantic or a sexual love, but that's the person he's always focused on. And so some of that feelings about Tasha, the guilt about Tasha, actually spills into his kind of relationship with Lauren and trying to protect women around him. Thank you for the compliment that I am beautiful. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if there's anybody who I need to. Oh, okay, I'll get to that question. All right. Courtney, am I not part of Force? I did executive produce, and I will continue to executive produce, and I am part of the show and the casting process. But as you guys know, I have left Lionsgate Stars, and now I'm on Netflix, and I'm coming with new shows and movies and just doing like a whole other thing. But I'm still connected to you guys, to the Power fans, and I always will be. Okay, let's see. Okay, Anthony, 1975. If Mecca dies, the feds are coming. Why don't Mecca tell the feds that he's been compromised because of Tariq? Mecca is not supposed to be in the country. Mecca is supposed to be out of the country. And that little detail, you have to like kind of listen for that because Davis says that. But that is absolutely true. So he's not supposed to be here, so he's not supposed to be calling for help and saying, hey, I came to New York and I was compromised. Harlem Rhapsody, does light-skinned Keisha feel bad for what she did to Lauren? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe she does. I don't know. I don't know how deep Rushandria's guilt for that might be. K Mendez 05, can Effie be trusted? I think Effie can be trusted to do what's best for Effie. I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but one thing that I think is interesting is that I feel as though the requirement for Effie, sometimes for the fans, is that she be perfect or that she like be completely loyal to Tariq. But being loyal to Tariq in this case means not being loyal to herself. Like there is a snitch out there, and if Kane got arrested, Effie's part of Kane's drug organization at this point. So is his mom. Like so is Brayden. Like they're all in it together. So the question really is like, is Effie being disloyal to Tariq? Sort of. She's going behind his back to Kane, but what is the right thing? Is Tariq making the right decision letting Lauren live? I mean, I think that's part of it as well. I think what you'll see over time is that in the ways that they can be loyal, both Brayden and Effie will ride for him until the wheels fall off. Oh my goodness. Hi, Cliff. I see that Cliff is in the building. That's Method Man. I'm sorry. I use his given name. It's harder to say Method Man when you're on set. Like, hey, Method Man, could you? It's like, nah, it's just, we're all grown ups. All of us are over 40. Hi, Cliff. How you doing? Okay. Underscore little bitty. Why was Monet so calm when she found out Mecca and Dante are the same person? This is a great question. And I'm going to say something that is a lot of women may relate to, or people who have been tricked in a romantic relationship. Her reaction very internally is, I should have seen that shit coming. Sometimes you're not even mad at the other person because you're like, man, I fucking played myself though, for real. Okay. All right. C-Trip3 underscore, will Kane try to kill one of his family members? He may have to. A couple of his family members are tripping. They're tripping, to be honest with you. So there we go. Okay. How many deaths are there in the finale? I mean, why am I going to tell you that? Oh, hey, I will tell you guys one thing, though. I am planning to do, not after the finale next week, but I'm planning to do the week after the finale. I'm going to do a, like, From the Beyond the Grave live, and I'm going to have some guests on who were killed this season. So definitely tune in for that, and I'll tell you guys about that. That'll be after next week. Okay, let's see. A lot of you guys are asking about, did Effie let Lauren live? I, of course, am not going to answer that question. And I do see that sometimes you guys are like really angry that I don't answer specific questions. Again, the reason I don't answer them is because I don't want to spoil what the answer is. I could sit up here and tell you guys everything that's going to happen all season, but I don't want to do that. And also, I will also say this, no matter what I say, there are going to be some of you who are going to be like, that's really predictable, or I thought that, or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. So you'll get it when you get it, and then you'll talk to me about it later. I'm always here for you to yell at me afterward. I know. Okay, let's see. Other questions. Oh, okay. TJB520. Why did Effie look as though she felt guilty about what she did or didn't do to Lauren? She felt very guilty. And I'm just going to say Effie had no bodies on her prior to that. And I'm not going to say that Lauren is dead or not dead. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that whatever Effie's process has been, she doesn't feel great about it because it's not the process necessarily that Brayden or Tariq would have wanted. All that said, I'm not going to say anything about what else may have happened, but I will say this, that there was a reason specifically that song is playing at the end of the episode. For those of you who need to, go back and listen to the song. It's very important. The other thing is, and I think this part of episode 9, and it's like a mini story in there, you know, I'm sure you've heard showrunners say like A story, B story, C story, D story. The Effie story in episode 9 is really about her, and it starts in episode 8, at the end of 8, but about her realizing she's in love with Tariq, like really in love with Tariq, and what that means for her, and what that means for her compromising some of her own decisions. Okay, let's see. I'm going to try to finish up because it's almost 6 and we had that little delay in there. Okay, let's see. You guys are hanging 8,000 strong though, so I really appreciate it. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's a few of you who are asking about Zeke's age and what happened and how it got to the press and who leaked that and why. I am just going to say that if you're asking those questions, you are asking the correct questions, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. X Key asked me, so hey, Courtney, here's my question. Is Mecca going to die? Why would I answer that question? I don't understand. Why would I ever answer that question? Okay. It's Nikki's world too. Why doesn't Lorenzo acknowledge that Diana helped get the product back? That is an amazing question. And I think part of it is the kill the messenger of it a little bit. Like, she's a little bit angry. I mean, he's a little bit angry at her. And I think that's also part of that scene with Diana and Drew, where he's like, you know what, nobody's really happy with you right now. So there we go. All right. Oh, Nelly P0305, is Elisa Marie's character coming back? I answered this last week, but I'll bring it up again. If Elisa Marie is back in the Power universe, I would hope to see her in the Tommy series in Force. I don't know how much story there is to tell about Elisa Marie and Tariq when the person who killed. Oh, thank you, Corey Hardrich. Nice to see you in the building. When the person who actually killed her dad is Tommy. Like, not much to say about Tariq. I mean, yeah, there's a betrayal there, but it's not as deep. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. So this is just a quick little mistake thingy. Tina_Bowlegs. Why were Lauren and Councilman Tate in Tariq's dream if they're not dead? Councilman Tate was not in his dream. When he went up to the board, he's in there, but he thinks it's him, but it's actually Jabari Reynolds, if you remember. And that whole, I want to talk about that real quick. So that was an amazing day when we got all those Power Universe people back, and it's incredible scheduling, and I have to give it to Greer and Bart, Greer Yaten, our producer, and Bart and Shanna and everybody behind the scenes to get all those people in one place to be able to do this. And be able to shoot that scene. And it was amazing. It was amazing to have all those people in the room. I can't tell you guys how magical the experience of Power Book 1 was, with all those things coming together, and then to be able to give back to you guys again in the form of this. Some people have been asking me various questions about why Tariq does certain things just like Ghost. Again, you guys know the basic story here is, can we make changes? Do the sins of the father, are they visited upon the son? So Tariq is gonna behave like his dad sometimes. He's gonna act like his dad sometimes. Okay, couple more questions and then I'm gonna end because we're almost at 6 o'clock. All right, Kimi Cakes. Is Tariq's dream supposed to signify his guilt? If so, why does he feel guilty about Ray Ray? I think the dream is not just about his guilt in the sense of like per person, but I understand why you're saying that. And it's like the way that we write these dream sequences is very much about how does Tariq feel, and it's expressed by everyone. So everyone in the dream is Tariq. So these are all the different pieces of Tariq's guilt and shame and all those things. And so that's why when Ray Ray pops up, Kanan says to him, "You got what you deserve." So Kanan is also speaking a little bit as Tariq in that moment. But these are all the people who Tariq feels responsible for their death. And that's everybody. He feels responsible. And so that's part of it, okay? The Lauren piece of it, again, a lot of you are asking, well, she's not dead, or she must have been dead, or whatever. Again, this is Tariq's fear. Tariq's fear is why she's in his dream, okay? So again, and remember, I want to be really clear, because BB Live Radio is asking this. Lauren comes to the door. She doesn't actually walk in the room. For those of you who noticed that, he blocks her body and he says, "Don't come in here, don't come in here." And she's like, "Of course I'm coming in here." But that is definitely on purpose, all of that. Okay, all right, let's see. It's T. Allen. Please do a behind the scenes outtakes, episode reunion, bloopers, anything. Love the show. I wish I could. I wish we could have done that. Last year, we couldn't do any behind the scenes because of COVID. We couldn't have an extra crew on set, so we lost all that great footage and time. Let's see, are there any last questions that I want to answer? I know you guys ask me a lot of the same questions over and over again, and sometimes I don't speak on things because I can't speak on them. Just trust me, I can't speak on them. Okay, and then I guess, let's see. Oh, why did y'all make Mecca a snitch? This is a really good question. This is Obi-Wan Kenovic, by the way, hilarious name. Mecca is a snitch. It's based on Whitey Bulger. If you guys want to look up who Whitey Bulger is, or those of you who know who Whitey Bulger is, but Whitey Bulger was a criminal, and the very short version of it is that he was allowed, while he was informing on everyone else, he was allowed, the FBI let him continue his business. They just let him go on and be a criminal and all the things. Eventually, he did go fugitive and he had to be caught, but that's who it's based on. It's based on a real story. We don't make up everything. You know, we like to have some things based in fact. And then the last thing I'll say is I guess I'll talk about the season finale, right? Because, like, isn't that what we want to talk about? We want to talk about the season finale. Okay, so, you guys a lot of you asked me a lot of questions about who's going to be in the finale, what's going to happen in the finale, and all those things. I will tell you one thing, which is you will see a face from the past. You will see a face from Power Book 1. I will tell you guys that there is at least one very happy thing that happens. And I will say that Kane has to make a very, very difficult decision in episode 10. And it's one that can change basically the course of the game. There are a few deaths. Of course, there's always death in every finale, but there is one that I think will really affect you guys. And trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you. I guess I'm hoping you like it. It's only an hour and 10 minutes long, so it's not going to answer all the questions. And luckily enough, season 3 has already been picked up. So we're going to leave some stuff for that. And okay, I think that's it. I think I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and coming back during our technical difficulties. I hope that you had a great time and that it was good to see Lorenz. Hopefully there will be more special guests next week, and then the week afterward I will be doing one about with some of the dead folks from our old from all over the Power universe. So have a great night. Thank you guys so much, and see you soon.